the whole year might unravel for Carolina if they don't get off to a fast start. If they go 2-2, they're fine. If they go 0-4, they're going to have a mess of a season. Like, things are just going to completely fall apart. But if they go 3-1, get to the bye week, and then come out of the bye week, look, you're just trying to go 2-2 there. At Philly, home for Tampa, at Green Bay, Thursday Night Football against Denver. You're just hoping to go 2-2 there. Then you're at New Orleans. You're home for Baltimore. You're at Tampa on Monday night, at Minnesota. You have New Orleans in Cincinnati, at Pittsburgh, and then Seattle and Atlanta at home in January to end the year. And that game at home against Atlanta could very well decide the division. So I'll be really curious to see how the Panthers handle after the bye week, because they got some very difficult games and they've got some very difficult road trips coming up. I would lean towards the under, just looking at them and how they played. They caught some people last year. I think they surprised some people last year. I don't think the Carolina Hurricanes do that. I don't think they catch teams napping. I would say 6 or 7 wins is sort of the ceiling for Carolina. But if they get hot and they play well out of the gate, maybe they do get to 8 wins, 9 wins. The question will be, how many wins do you need to win the division? That's to me, it all comes down to that from a playoff perspective. And last year, going 8-9 and winning the division at 8-9, does that do it again? If they get to 8, they go over 7.5 wins and they find their way there. So let's see how that all plays out. But first glance, I would play under on Carolina. The only over we've had so far, I like the Saints to go over. Everybody else that we've looked at so far, I think, are going under, just given their schedules and given where they are coming up here. All right, I think we got our guy. Let's go back talking some World Cup. Let's talk about what's happening for France and for Spain. I have no idea where he is. This is truly, where in the world on the planet is Adam Bjorn? Oh, no. Right when I was about to put him on, he crashed. What happened? Got kicked out. His internet went. I don't know where he is. He might be in like some airport dungeon. Like, I don't know where he is. So let's see if we can get him back. If we can get him back, we'll put him on. Right when I was about to put him up on the screen, I think he went out one time before that. So is he in Disney World? I don't think so. If he's in America, I think it's going to be fun. Like, I think we'll be fine here if he's, I just don't think he's stateside. I think he's somewhere else. So I'll have to wait and see where exactly he is. Okay, hold on. I think he's here. Where are you? And is the internet going to hold for us?
Well, I always think go to Wi-Fi. It's always the safest thing to do. But then I'm back in the cornfields, back in Michigan, and I think just data is the safest play right here. So I flew in this morning, just got in like, 15, 20 minutes ago, driving down to Columbus tomorrow to get in front of the commission about Planetech's license for Ohio. So, yeah, it's a bit of a all over the place right now. But, yeah, about to get on the road in about an hour. Once this soccer game kicks off, be in Columbus by tonight, and then I can 10 a.m. meeting tomorrow and see if we can get Ohio back open.
All right, let's hope for that. Hopefully next time we talk, we get good news out of the Buckeye State. But today, 3:00, the start of this game for France and Spain. It's in Dallas. It's a 3:00 Eastern time start. Does that impact the stateside handle or even global handle on this match? Because 3:00 is weird for a game of this magnitude here in America.
Yeah, it feels a little light. I mean, usually by this time, the numbers would be definitely a lot bigger. So when I pulled up the chart earlier, this is like for a semi-final World Cup game. This is nothing like the games that were played on the weekend in the quarterfinals, whatnot. Now, we still have 3 hours. Yeah. But, yeah, I would have expected more when I kind of got off the plane and checked the charts. Right now, we're looking at about sort of 70% of the money on France. Other money split between Spain and the draw. Master money is a little bit more on Spain, about 72% on the three-way, and then sort of the rest on France. Total-wise, 84% of the money's on the over, 53% of the master money's on the under there at the 2.5. And then the spread is a little bit more France on that side of it at -1/4, bit of pick'em. Looks like about 67% of the money there on France on the handicap. Not really any master action there at all.
We've got, for the first time in history, the top 4 ranked teams in FIFA's world rankings making the semifinal. Is that a good thing or a bad thing for handle? Because you can make the case that folks are going to ride their futures and they don't need to bet anything on these games. Just let it ride because they got 2 games left and maybe they have tickets on Spain or Argentina. I know you guys are heavy on Argentina. Does that impact the handle?
100% valid reason, because a couple of people have actually reached out saying, I have these future tickets, what should I do? And definitely they got sort of 2 or 3 of the 4 covered. It seems like England's the one that mainly nobody has taken a shot at this point in time. But yeah, I mean, again, you would think that these are 2 cracking games, competitive. I'm very surprised at how much the favourites are favourite. I would think these are generally pick'em games. Spain come into the tournament favourite. France now sort of a decent favourite over them. And on the flip side, again, it's Argentina or England. It's England. Can you trust them? Will they finally do it? Coming off the back of that, extremely humid, hot game. English legs weary in the heat kind of thing. So it'll be really interesting to see how this plays out. But I do expect goals in the first game, and then probably it'll end up 0-0. But I think Spain's been very strong defensively. France obviously have a full-on attack. I like Spain and Argentina to both win today. And again, usually I am on an underdog kind of play, but this one, the price is kind of talking to me more than actually having an opinion of that nature. If you're going to give me plus money either of these games, even if it was France plus money, if they were plus 30 and I'd be saying, okay, France. These just both seem dead even games and 2 teams that are matched up well.
What do you make of, and people have talked about it's France's offense against Spain's defense, and whoever wins that side, that's where the game's going to go. I took France over 1.5 goals today, and I took France to qualify. Do you think either one of these matches today or tomorrow, are we going all the way through extra time? Are we getting to penalties at all where it's going to be high drama?
Well, you know me, I love a good parlay, and I've parlayed both games to go to penalties. So at around 25, 26 to 1, I believe at least one of these games has to go to penalties. I mean, we've never really had quarterfinals where at least one hasn't gone, and all of them dodged it the last 4 games, 2 opportunities having the draws. But I feel like somewhere, somehow, there's got to be a penalty shootout here. So I'm backing them both and then piring them up in case there's 2 of them. But these teams are just matched up where it could be 2-2, 3-3. Like, it doesn't have to be 0-0 in this spot. And we've seen that the team that's down in that last 15 minutes just pepper, and the game opens up. So, all these teams have the ability to get an early goal, which then just blows open the match. And, there's back and forth until maybe late in the game it gets tied up and they get cagey again. So, scoring draws in both of these games wouldn't surprise me at all.
I was talking to a guy who was a huge English fan yesterday, and to just see it in his eyes about Argentina and how desperate the English fans want this. Will the game be bet more heavily tomorrow, given the fact that England's involved and that there's people here in the States that are willing to bet heavy here on England? Will tomorrow's handle be bigger than today's handle?
Quite possibly. Again, I'm surprised at today's handle, how low it's been so far. Right now, there's more today than tomorrow, but that's expected as well, most of the stuff. What I've realized wholeheartedly during this thing is soccer, you have masters, but they're not strong masters like NFL, college football, stuff like that. So it's sort of been really a lot of rec money. All the, words I've heard out of prediction market makers, bettors, all that kind of stuff. They're just, full of glee with how much recreational money's been bet on this World Cup overall. So I think depending how today's results fall, if anyone has those future positions and that, they might tune into tomorrow's. But I think also on the live side of it, we're still getting plenty of action on the live, and I think a lot of people are just sort of wanting to watch this. And when you have two really good teams meeting up, getting on the team that's down 1-0, which lots of people have been doing in the quarters and the round of 16, is they just keep betting that team that should win even when they're down, and so far their pockets are full.
Today is the All-Star game in America. Is the World Cup game at 3:00 a good thing for that handle on the All-Star game, or is that going to cause people to not bet soccer and more go and bet baseball? I know the All-Star game is not normally heavily bet, but does one influence the other given they're both being played back to back?
Well, I imagine, you might catch some football fans rolling their money into the baseball if it comes up, but right now it doesn't look like anyone's even remembered that the All-Star game is on. Like on the side action, there is literally nothing. Totals bet fairly heavy on the over, about 90% on the over, 100% of the master money's on the over.
Wow.
But yeah, really I mean, there's more money on the corners in Spain and France game than there is on the All-Star game right now.
How about that? I'm on the under, so maybe I'm on the wrong side for the game tonight, but you guys will need the under. The book will need the under tonight.
That's what it looks like right now. Yeah, it's clearly that.
All right. I'm on the book side for the game tonight for the All-Star game. What is the bet for corners today? Is there any master money coming in on corners?
I did see there was sort of heavy on the over. There was a little bit of master money on France to have more corners, which is surprising because usually they bet the team that's going to get behind to sort of go attacking. But yeah, right now there's a little bit more in France, and then on the total on the over, there's a little bit there as well.
Does it matter other than Argentina who gets to the final? It's just anybody but Argentina?
Right now, the only thing we don't want is Argentina.
So we're all in on France and England or Spain and England tomorrow. That's what we're pulling for.
Yeah, whoever gets through. I mean, looking at the Spain-France one on the team to advance, it's about 61% of the money on France. Master money's real balanced. And then on the other one, there's not a lot. But yeah, that futures exposure is so big that I don't even think. And normally when I say, you write the futures all you want because it ends up in the final, you're going to write more money or the Super Bowls. No, our position is so bad that I don't think we'll even do that amount of volume on the final. So yeah, as much as I think that they're the team to bet at the price for tomorrow, I will not shed any tears if Argentina go out and England are in the final, and then, hopefully they get beat in the final, and then we don't hear about, all the English joy or whatnot for the next, 4 years until they get rolled again.
Eric is wondering about the Ballon d'Or market, which I don't understand. It's not the Golden Boot; it's the other one. Is that the MVP market? What is that award for the World Cup?
No, so the Ballon d'Or is actually the award for the European season.
Oh, okay.
And the best player for that, which I know there's been markets. Generally, it was down, I think, to Mbappe and someone else. Okay. Maybe it was Kane, but yeah, it's an award that never seems to go to the actual best player. It seems like there's a lot of politics and whatnot in it. But quite often you get news at some point in the season as there's a certain player you should back at decent odds, and there has been some good results on it. But yeah, it's a cagey award to be betting on that one.
Golden Boot is still heavy on Mbappe, or is it all Messi money?
No, Mbappe has definitely got the money coming in. Both of those have carried heavy money. So someone coming in and, a Bellingham or someone like that would definitely help clean up the money on that one. But yeah, I mean, just an impressive World Cup for goal scorers and top tier strikers and whatnot, because usually you get someone random go out, get to 4 or 5 goals, and then others cream of the crop in this one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's been I mean, I guess it comes down to games played, right? So if Mbappe plays 2 more matches, you would assume he wins. If Messi plays 2 more matches, he wins. But if England plays 2 more matches, and Kane's been pretty quiet recently, it's been all Bellingham. So you figure he might get in, right?
Well, it's actually a bit flipped now because the losers still get to play 2 games, and
I
often,
forgot about
yes,
that.
and often that third place game is a high scoring game, and usually the bet is always to bet over. So you'll have it where, Mbappe might get through to the final. It'll be a tight game. England, if they should lose, get into and it could be a 4-4 or, plenty of things. So that one's actually interesting to sort of take a look at, and potentially, if you don't like one of those teams and they've got, someone up, again, a Messi, if you think Argentina are getting knocked out, there's a chance he could knock 2 or 3 past in that irrelevant game that they will play.
It's so funny because I got into not argument. I was talking with somebody yesterday, and they reminded me of the consolation game, and I was like, "This is why in America we struggle with this stuff." Because 1, why are you playing a consolation game? But then 2, why do the stats for the consolation game count towards the golden boot for the entire tournament? Because that game is basically an exhibition game. Does it matter if you come in 3rd or 4th place to most teams? Like, it's just a kick around game, is it not?
Well, that's why it's always usually you bet the over, because teams go in and, a lot of the players look, what do we care if we win or lose this game? But it's an interesting one, one that I've never really understood on that level as well. I mean, different in the Olympics if you're playing for bronze or something like
Right.
that. But
Yeah, right. Yes.
yeah, in the World Cup, you're not playing for anything. So, maybe some pride or some money or whatever they think it is. But it is an odd one.
It's going to be interesting. All right. So no one's betting the All-Star game. People are going to be slow in here with Spain and France, but you think Spain wins. And then you like Argentina tomorrow, or you like England tomorrow? You're going against your book needs England.
Yeah. So again, price-wise, I have to be straight up, transparent, and honest. I think both the dogs are good value. I've been very clear, and if you go back far enough, I think I said on here as well, my first bets in this World Cup were Argentina to win the whole thing at like 10s and 12s, and I've liquidated that when they got into like 3s, 3.5, because as my position was nothing on the books position, so whatever I might have won, no satisfaction. So I'd liquidated it, cashed out, got the profit, and I don't want them to win tomorrow, but just based on the pricing, and it's England, it just seems like they're a little overpriced in that one.
All right, see if they can go ahead and do that. When will the live streams be today and tomorrow? Is there one today?
100%. I am not getting in that car until I do that and they kick off about 20 minutes before, and then tomorrow, all going well, and the Ohio meeting is done and dusted. By the time they go, about 20 minutes before as well, I'll find a spot and get that out.
At Adam Bjorn to go and watch those live streams. Folks in the brigade love it. My friend, thank you. Travel safe to Ohio. We'll talk to you next week, all right?
All right, cheers. Thanks, Matt.
Adam Bjorn, at Adam Bjorn. Go follow him on X to go check out what he does. Those live streams are awesome. He gives you right up to the second where the money's coming in. We'll see if people bet more heavy on this match coming up here today. So it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. So, or hours rather, not weeks, but hours, as to how this all plays out here for the next couple of hours for France and Spain. Okay, so if you guys are watching live, we're going to head into bonus time. Don't move for you guys. If you're on the Sports Grid replay, thank you for being here. Appreciate you guys. We're back tomorrow on the live side at 11 a.m. Eastern time. If you watch on the replay, if you guys want to head on over to the live show tomorrow, feel free to hop in if you haven't seen it live before. But every night on the replay at 1 a.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Pacific time on Sports Grid. Bonus time starts now. JPC is saying whatever. So I was talking to a big England fan last night. The guy was actually in Peru, and having a conversation with him about a variety of other things business wise. But he is a gigantic England fan, and he is like so beside himself that England has a chance. He's never seen England in the final for the World Cup, and he's so upset and like not upset, but so excited for the match tomorrow, and like this is the matchup. This is the bugaboo to get past. This is how you do this. You get this win right now. This would be gigantic to go ahead and get a win and move on to the final, where they're probably going to lose to France, but they'll get there. Like, get to the World Cup final. It's what he is so desperate for. We'll see. Argentina is going to be a tough test for them for sure on this. Okay. Let's talk about our pro football story of the day, being brought to you by our friends at VegasFootballProxy.com, the official proxy service of Pushing the Odds. If you need a proxy service for Circa Million, Survivor, Grandissimo, or either of the Westgate Super Contest, Westgate Football Contest for the college ranks, Tom and his great staff at VegasFootballProxy.com have got you covered. Tom will join us every Friday on the program, giving us updates as to where we are from a numbers perspective and how to handle some of the questions that come up every year when you need a proxy to handle your picks for these coming seasons. Circa Million, Circa Survivor, Grandissimo, or the Westgate. Go to VegasFootballProxy.com to make your appointment to go and see Tom. You must be in person to sign up for the contest. If you don't live in Vegas or Nevada, you need a proxy. Tom is the official proxy service of Pushing the Odds. Let's talk a bit about Aaron Donald, because yesterday on the Pat McAfee show, you got an update from Adam Schefter, and he said, my guess is in the end, he'll be coming back to play for the Rams. How are we all not betting the Rams right now? Because the second he actually does come back, the second he is officially part of that Rams defense with Myles Garrett, with this offense that the Rams are going to feature, Aaron Donald went to the team. He worked out in pads, and he wanted to see how he was going to feel after he worked out in pads. Well, the answer had to have been, I feel good, or I missed it, or I'm excited. Because Aaron Donald is going to play, in my opinion, for the Rams this year, and that's going to be ridiculous. I mean, that defensive line is going to be absolutely and completely ridiculous. I think he's going to play for the Rams. I think the Rams defense is going to be the best defense in football. We'll see if Matthew Stafford can stay healthy. That's my only question about the Rams. If Matthew Stafford gets hurt, see you later. Year is over. If Matthew Stafford is healthy for the Rams all year long, we'll see you in LA. That team will play for the Super Bowl, and it's going to be really fun to watch. I don't know. It's been a good time to be an LA sports fan. You have Ohtani, obviously, and what he's doing with the Dodgers. The Rams have been very competitive, but getting Aaron Donald back is going to be insane. Just absolutely and totally insane to see him play again. And he's got a lot left in the tank. He's got a lot left in the tank. Time for news of the industry. News of the industry, and we go back to baseball, and we go back to Bryce Harper and the Bryce Harper story involving FanDuel and Cameo, where before the game yesterday, before the home run derby yesterday, Bryce Harper tried to distance himself from FanDuel and Cameo by explaining how he came to send a video to a gambler who had lost over $1.5 million with FanDuel because he is a partner with Cameo. Bryce, writing on Instagram stories, which is really hard to read at times, but our friends at ingame.com have broken this down. And Bryce Harper wrote, in November of 2024, someone identifying themselves only as Brittany submitted an order through Cameo for a personal holiday video for Terry. Cameo had a separate category for business video requests, and at the time, I did not know this video would be used for commercial purposes. The request included a short script. I read it in good faith. FanDuel then put its own logo on the video and used it as a gambling promotion. I did not know FanDuel would do this. I did not consent to it, and FanDuel has no right to do it. Had I known FanDuel's true intent, I would not have made the video. The same is true had I known anything about Terry or his situation, that's the gambler who lost over $1.5 million, or the alleged partnership between Cameo and FanDuel. He put partnership in quotations, which is kind of interesting. Contrary to the Inquirer's suggestion, I did not know the Cameo video would be used for a FanDuel VIP promotion, and I have no affiliation with FanDuel whatsoever. Counsel has directed me not to comment any further at this time. He had no choice but to put that out because he was going to the home run derby and he was going to talk to the media. And somebody in the media most likely was going to ask Bryce about that video. Look, that squares with me. It might not square with you. You might think that he's being woefully ignorant about what he was talking and how he was talking about and what he was saying. And I will agree with you. I will understand that that is your prerogative to question his authenticity. But I believe him because of the way that the entire thing went down with Cameo and the fact that he wasn't working directly for FanDuel and he was working for and essentially doing whatever Cameo was telling him to do. Okay. People have made a bunch of jokes. Okay. About you put it on the teleprompter. He's going to read it. Give him the script. He's going to read it. Right. We've all seen Anchorman, right? It's the Will Ferrell character, right? You just go ahead, put it up there and he's F you San Diego. Okay. Like that's kind of what was going on there. Bryce is not the sharpest tool in the shed, guys. Okay. Like Bryce Harper's a baseball player. He's a damn good baseball player. He's got a deal. He agreed to the deal. Somebody told him what to read. He read it and he walked away thinking it was nothing. And then it comes out 2 years later in a lawsuit that this video was provided to me by FanDuel that involves Bryce Harper as part of the gifts that FanDuel was giving this guy because this guy was an addicted gambler and they wanted to keep him gambling and he had blown through over $1.5 million with FanDuel. Look, that's just the way things are. Okay. I understand this point. Disappointed in Bryce. He should have known better. I do understand the point, but I also understand that Bryce Harper is just reading what they give him. He's just reading it. He's not an endorser of FanDuel. He's an endorser of Cameo. Why is Bryce Harper an endorser of Cameo? How the fuck do I know? Why? That would be my question. Why is Bryce Harper working with Cameo? I have no earthly idea why Bryce Harper is working with Cameo. Why you could pay him up to like last week. You could have paid $900 and Bryce Harper would have read something for you or your kid or your grandfather or whomever. Why is Bryce Harper on Cameo? He's got more money than he'll ever know what to do with. It just doesn't make any sense why he would go and do that, but fine. Bryce Harper's got to find deals and marketing opportunities and whatever to capitalize on money. I don't understand why Bryce Harper is doing that deal, but it makes sense to me how Bryce Harper got caught up with the FanDuel situation because FanDuel and Cameo have a deal, which I guess most people didn't know about. I didn't know about it until this story. It's not well publicized that FanDuel and Cameo are working together. Now, did FanDuel just pay Cameo? Because you could have paid Bryce Harper $900 to do this. FanDuel can afford to pay Bryce Harper $900 to go and do this. So at the end of the day, Bryce gets roped in to an addicted gambler who is suing FanDuel because he claims that their app caused him to be an addicted gambler and they kept feeding him and not stopping him from himself, which I continue to struggle with because I understand the idea that folks who are addicted to gambling need help and the books should not be predatory. And if they are proven to be predatory, they should be punished, sanctioned, fined, whatever you want to call it, to make it not happen. Require them to fund, gambling initiatives and Gambler Anonymous programs and all the things you can do to a sports book. I get it. But at the end of the day, the guy is still betting. At the end of the day, it's still an individual buying these wagers. If he tried to stop himself and FanDuel went around that, different story. But as far as I can tell, this guy just liked gambling and he sucked at it. It's tough. It's a tough thing to ask because if he has the money and he's not stopping himself, I mean, again, I let adults do adult things. I don't like watching someone drink themselves to death. I don't like somebody doing drugs that kills them, but I will fight for their right to do it. I will fight for their right to be able to do what they want to do with their body and their life. If you're not hurting somebody else with your actions, have at it. I've always had that opinion. Like, it's not fair. It's not kind. It's not genteel. It's not gentlemanly to sit there and say, if somebody wants to drink themselves to death, so be it. But that's how I fall down, that human beings should be allowed at an 18 or 21-year-old age. You should be allowed to do what you want with your own life. You drive a car, you go to jail. You kill somebody, you're in a box for the rest of your life, because that's doing it to somebody else. But if you're sitting in a basement and you got a bottle, and every day you go down to that basement and you down that bottle, and after 2 months or 2 years or whatever it is, your liver goes out and you die, well, I'm not here to stop you. You can do that. That's your choice to do that. So this guy gambling $1.5 million, losing that money, is that hurting somebody else? Well, that could be debated, right? Matt, he's hurting his family. Matt, he's hurting other people by doing this. But I can only look at the individual, the one person, the man, and say, you are gambling your own money. Did you steal that money? No. Was it your money to bet? Yes. Was FanDuel going around their safeguards to stop someone from gambling too much if they're addicted? If the answer to that is yes, then I'll change my opinion. But as far as I can tell, what they were doing was giving him gifts to incentivize him or say thank you for the business, which happens all the time in all different walks of life. You know, if somebody goes, if you go and buy a house, a $2 million house, and the realtor buys you a gift because you overpaid for the house and that realtor just made a big score, and they're saying thank you by buying you trips to Bora Bora. I mean, okay, you can do that. It's okay. It's thanking a client. I know the idea of a sports gambler being a client makes people feel icky and dirty. Like, it's just like, ugh, God. But that's what they are. Okay. The dirty secret about sports gambling that no one really wants to acknowledge is that the vast majority of people who bet are going to lose. It's the question of, why are you doing it is the question. Okay. People walk into casinos every day and blow through hundreds of thousands of dollars at a table, playing blackjack, playing poker, and no one knows about it. No one publicizes it. No one talks about it. The books or the casino gives the guy gifts, hotel rooms, flights, other quote unquote wink, wink, nod, nod things, right? That's the world of gambling. And it's like people are just waking up and realizing this stuff happens. And they're like, oh my God, that guy lost $1.5 million. Okay, you know, Dana White plays blackjack for $300,000 to $500,000 a hand? A hand. He's playing that for blackjack. He loses 3 hands. He loses $1.5 million. Is he suing Stations Casino because they let him do that? No. So, like, I know the dollar figures shock people. I know the money gets people's attention, and it's such like great clickbait. And the Philadelphia Inquirer got a ton of love out of this story, and they dragged Bryce Harper through the mud and got all sorts of publicity for this whole thing. I mean, it's just one of those situations. I just kind of I have a hard time with it, because I get that a real person got hurt and a real person is suing FanDuel because of what FanDuel did. But the I don't know what the term just describe myself as. I don't want to call myself an asshole, but the asshole side of me says yes. That, like, okay, anybody force you to do it? No. Did you try to stop yourself and put up guardrails to stop yourself? No. They just kept on giving me gifts. They gave me tickets to events and Super Bowl tickets and Bryce Harper videos. That makes them liable. That makes them criminally or civilly liable to your gambling addiction. It's your addiction, right? Yeah, but they kept on feeding me. They kept on getting me to come back. Okay, well, let me see what they did. Because if you opted out and said, hey, I'm done, and then they came back at you, there's where I have a problem. If you ask and you voluntarily say, I can't handle this anymore, I need help, and the book comes after you, and then they do it again, gifts, emails, phone calls, that's different. Okay. That's predatory and that should be punished. But if the book is just sending you gifts to say thank you, and they think that you're perfectly okay, and you're not saying and raising your hand saying, I'm down a lot of money. Again, I know people that have lost a ton of money who can afford to lose it. It's not a big deal. Like, they'll make it back next month. Oh, I'm down 100,000. Okay, let me go make a deal. I'll go close that and make 500,000. So to different people, different amounts of money means different things. It's the thing we always tend to forget for whatever reason. It frustrates me because it drags the industry through the mud. It drags FanDuel's name through the mud because of all of this. And they look like they're a criminal enterprise when in reality, this happens in numerous walks of life and numerous gambling casino halls all over the country, all over the world, every single day. Let's make some bets. All right, just the picks being brought to you by the Betting Pros Prop Bet Cheat Sheet. You can log on to bettingpros.com/MLB props to see all the MLB props coming up for the second half of the year. 5-star plays are free at the moment at Betting Pros for the Betting Pros Prop Bet Cheat Sheet. I am taking France to advance. I laid the 150. Adam likes the price on Spain. I get it. I understand. I like France. I'm taking France team total over 1.5. I think it's a good hedge in case Spain does win. I could see this being a 3-2 type of win for Spain. That's potential. Maybe a 2-2 game. We go to penalty kicks. Adam thought PKs are possible. So maybe you can have a hedge on that. And I'm going on the under 8 for the All-Star game. I've been ice cold. The Masters are all on the other side. I may go 0-3 today. I've had a bad month of July. Wouldn't be surprising if I wind up going 0-3 on my bets today, just given how I have been running. But under 8 for the All-Star game here today for the National League and the American League. Time for my favorite thing about today. My favorite thing about today is that it currently is July 14th. And today is my brother's 47th birthday. My brother and my mom got divorced when I was 12, and I grew up with my brother. I don't call them my half brother and sisters, but I have 2 half brothers and 1 half sister. Same mom, different dad. My brother Ben and I, he's 47, I'm 49. We have the same mom and dad. And on July 14th, which is Bastille Day, which is the celebratory day of France, and Ben's always been talking about Bastille Day. He's an organic farmer in Western Massachusetts. Internally, my brother and I are extremely similar. Externally, we are totally opposites. He's a farmer. I'm a sports gambling content creator. Complete opposite worlds. But inside, we're very similar. It's always fun to remember your sibling's birthday and how when they become older, and 47 isn't like that big of a deal. Like, oh, you turned 47. It's another year. It's another calendar. He never takes his birthday all that seriously. I was texting with him this morning. I'm like, what are you doing for your birthday? He's like, not much. I'm working. Coming up on that. So, I mean, if you have siblings who are older, you understand that people don't take their birthdays all that seriously, but it is nice to have your birthday be acknowledged. So my favorite thing about today, Peralt family dinners are extremely interesting. Oh, you have no idea, especially now. Yes, I have lived the modern lifestyle. I will, at some point, I will write a book about my life, because my life is really crazy. My mom was 18. My dad was 20. My parents knew each other for 6 weeks before they had me. In 1976, they got pregnant with me. I was an kid. What do we do? Oh, it's 77. We get married. Oh, when you get married, let's have 2 kids. That was my brother. That was Ben, who was born on July 14th, 1979 was when my brother was born. So yes, very interesting. Modern families all over the place. Yes, very much so. So happy birthday to my brother, Ben. Thank you to you guys in the brigade for being here. Thank you to Adam Bjorn for being a part of the program. He's in Michigan. Let's see what happens. Go France on Bastille Day. Les Blues. I don't speak French, but let's get the French get a W. Have the French get to the final. I want that plus 460 to cash here for me coming up. Back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern time for a live episode of Pushing the Odds with Matt Peralt, being brought to you by Betcris Arizona.